have my hypothesis about why Tim Tebow was out because I guess in the past they've made fun of him, but they said they actually Tebow helped that team that wasn't good with Kyle Orton, the Broncos. And when Tebow came on, they made the playoffs. But my hypothesis is, and I'm just curious of your thoughts as well. Tim Tebow was such a big believer in Christ. He still is, and he put himself out there. I mean, that's the first thing he would do in every single interview. I know his stats said otherwise, but when he came in, he won. And after he leads them to the
Yeah.
playoffs, obviously Peyton comes in. He changed the trajectory of the Broncos, but he never got like a real shot to start.
Yeah.
Do you think, am I out there thinking that he didn't get another fair shake because of the things he was saying on TV? Or is that, do you think it was just because of his statistics and he wasn't the greatest thrower is why wasn't able to get another shot?
Yeah. I don't think for a second that he didn't last because of his, where he is with his faith, which is, you can't deny that he's as strong a Christian as you'll ever find. But I think the other thing too is he was as strong a competitor as maybe not the best quarterback.
Right.
And I don't know Tim. All I know is what I saw, and there was no doubt that that guy would do anything it would take to win. Now, if it came down to him throwing every down to help you win, it's probably not a strong suit, but he could will you to victory. He was that strong of a competitor. And, why he didn't play longer, I don't know. But maybe he was steadfast of, I'm going to play quarterback. And if you don't like it, then don't sign me. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I think would have been an asset to any team he went to. Maybe not at the QB position, maybe a short term, but you could, if you knew how to use him, I'd play him at running back, I'd play him at quarterback, I'd play him at receiver, tight end. I'd put him on special teams. And he's the type of guy that he was never going to say, no, I don't want to do that. He wanted to play. And, there's a lot to be said for a competitor of his magnitude because I think having him on your team guarantees you X number of wins already just because of his competitive nature and spirit.
I know New England gave him a tryout at tight end. Because like you said, he was such a competitor. Do you think he could have got better throwing a couple years more?
There's no question he could have gotten better. But, I look at the quarterback position much like I look at, you're either born to do it or you're not. I was never going to be a world class sprinter. I could certainly train and get faster, but I was never going to be, in the Olympics. I was never going to be a pro basketball player. I tried to play basketball. It just didn't, it didn't click. So we all have specialties that, some people can play the piano. Some people can sing. Some people can paint. I don't think Tim was necessarily a polished quarterback, but he was a heck of an athlete, and he was a tremendous leader and competitor. And I would put him up in the tops of those three categories, and maybe middle tier of quarterback. So if I were running a team or on the team, I would want him on my team. And I would tell my coach, you figure out a way to get him on the field because this guy is an asset to our team.